I'm about to give you a lot of details. I want us to see just one point. That when the tribes of Joseph, which is Manasseh and Ephraim, especially the tribe of Ephraim, are working together with Judah, it is really good for the nation. And they're doing what they're supposed to do. But they are often at odds with each other. Why would that be? Why are these two tribes at odds with each other? You tell me why Yankees and Southerners are at odds. Is there a little bit of history there? See, this is family history. They're at odds with each other. When it's time to spy out the land, they're just about to go into the land now. They've been in the wilderness for about 1.5 years, and they're ready to launch into the land, and they say, let's send out spies. So every tribe has their main leader. And the 12 men come back, and 10 of the men say, yeah, the land is good, but I don't know what God was thinking when he told us to go there, because there is no way we're going to take possession of that. It is too hard. The people are too strong, too big, and they just laugh at us. We look like little grasshoppers compared to them. There's no way this is going to happen. 2 men step up and say, no, God will do what he said. Joshua and Caleb step up. Guess which 2 tribes they're from? You have them right there. Caleb is from Judah, and Joshua is from the tribe of Ephraim. Well, in the book of Numbers, you have all these numbers. That's where it gets its name from. They're counting all the people. Okay, how many warriors do we have? How many firstborn do we have? How many animals do we have? They're counting the families. How many do we have going in? They're counting how many fighting men they have from the ages of 20 and up. And if you look at all those numbers, Judah has the largest amount of fighting men. So already what do we see? Who's going to take the prominent spot? The tribe of Judah. It's going to take prominence. Now, if you combine the tribes of Manasseh and Ephraim, their numbers are just a little bit more than the tribe of Judah. So you see again the prominence of Judah and Joseph. After the land is conquered, and this is what I want us to see on the map. Okay, they go into the land, and do you see the little tiny squiggle in the middle? That's the Jordan River. 2.5 of the tribes, they want to stay on the east, but they say, we'll fight with all the tribes going in to take the land on the west. So they're going to go in. They conquer the land with Joshua. So if you want to flip to Joshua chapter 18, they go in, and the land is conquered, but there's pockets of Canaanites that haven't been conquered that are still there, and that's kind of up to each tribe. So now Joshua is getting old, and it's time for each tribe to get their inheritance. So who's going to go first? Who gets their allotment first? Out of the 12, all 12 are going to get their inheritance. Who gets theirs first? Judah gets theirs first, because Caleb steps up and says, I want what God said he would give this to me, and I want the hill country. Now that looks like a pretty big area, doesn't it? But look, do you see how much of that is arid land? Down in the south, see that whole south? And you see that circle on the bottom, that's Simeon, which was dispersed in the tribe of Judah. So that's the tribe of Judah. Who's going to get their allotment second? Well, Joshua, he wants his land. And all the tribe of Ephraim. So that's where Ephraim is. But if you combine Ephraim and Manasseh to see what Joseph's inheritance looks like, that's when we get Joseph's inheritance. Do you see it? These are the 2 powerful, especially Ephraim, these are the 2 powerful tribes coming out of the old family rivalries. And then we have that, you see that little space right there in the middle? Little Ben. Little Ben is going to be a peacemaker. That tribe plays a very important role. I had you turn to Joshua 18, verse 1. The whole congregation of the sons of Israel assembled themselves at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there, and the land was subdued before them. Where is Shiloh? Which tribal territory is Shiloh? It's in Ephraim. You see Bethel right there? Bethel is where it was at first. Now, why am I showing this to you on the map? Remember in the wilderness, what had God done to make sure that his people knew his laws? Where had he put the tabernacle? Right in the middle. Now they're in the land and everyone's getting settled, but where does God put the tabernacle? Right in the middle. First of all, it's at Bethel, and then it moves up to Shiloh. Now take your little ripped priesthood, tribe of Levi, and we're going to put it into whose envelope? Joseph's envelope now has the priestly power is now joined with Ephraim. And your Levites are still scattered throughout the tribes. Okay, so Joshua passes away, and the tribes are left on their own to finish off the job that God has said, this is the job, and this is what I want you to do. Work together. All the tribes are now in their allotment. And when they ask God, okay, Joshua's dead, like which tribe should start to finish off the job? God says, Judah. What is God preparing them for? The scepter shall not depart from Judah. From which tribe did God raise up the first judge? Well, you don't know. You're not supposed to know. But look up here and tell me it's going to be one of two. You can guess, right? It's going to either be Judah or Joseph, Ephraim. Okay, well, the first judge comes from Judah. The hand of God in these events, it just looks like old sibling rivalries gone big. But God is actually preparing the way for them to be ready for a king that they don't even know that they want yet. He's using all of this natural, just kind of sibling rivalries. Well, if you've heard of Gideon, Gideon was from western Manasseh. You see, half the tribe of Manasseh settled in the west and half settled on the east. That's why it's Manasseh there, split. Gideon was from western Manasseh, and God told him he had too many troops, so he has to go down to 300 men, and they have this great victory. And then he calls everybody, okay, help us out, and everybody helps him out. Well, after it's all over, someone gets really mad that Gideon didn't call them at the very beginning. Guess which tribe that might be? It's not Judah. It is Ephraim getting mad that Gideon didn't call them. Now, do you understand why? It's because of where they're from. Ephraim does not want anyone else to be stronger or bigger. And then you have this story about Jephthah. And I know these are probably more unknown stories, but the only point I'm making, Jephthah is from eastern Manasseh. He has this great victory against the enemies that have come against them. And guess who didn't help? The Ephraimites say, we are really mad. And they actually make a war against Jephthah. They fight against Jephthah. Why? Because, do you see what's going on? It's just Ephraim saying, who do you think you are? We're supposed to be strong and powerful. The end of the book of Judges gives us 3 snapshots of what life was like during this whole period of time. Before the king came, but after they're out of the wilderness. In other words, how is the family tree growing?